Um, hello, hello everyone, and welcome to our online event. Let me introduce myself. My name is Ramina. I am board member of Global Dignity Finland, and I'm so glad to see you all here. We will discuss today about belongingness, Finnishness, storytelling. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate and give your questions in comments. First of all, let me introduce our guests. Yes, one moment, please. So please introduce yourself. Please introduce.
Hello, hello
Hi.
everyone. I'm Andrea. I come from Mexico, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, Will Asmara.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Asmara. I worked with the. Actually spoke in one of the events of Global Dignity Forum 2020, and I'm looking forward to this discussion. Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. My name is Vili, and I'm really happy to be here because this is a really important topic to discuss about, and I think everyone should spend some time actively thinking that how we can promote this, ourselves, and then also for others. So excited for the upcoming conversation.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us. And also, Jasmin has joined us now. And
Yes,
okay, hello. Are you hearing? Yeah.
yeah, I can hear.
Yes, welcome to our online event. So, can you please introduce yourself? Yes.
Can you see me? Is the camera working?
Yes.
No.
Oh, we know we have.
Just a second.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Hello everyone. I'm sorry to join a bit late. So yeah, I'm Jasmin, 20 years old, and which part should I introduce?
Any part.
Well, I study in Tampere, and then I've lived there for 1.5 years now. I study international business, and yeah, right now I'm in Helsinki, so it was a little. I've been on a tight schedule today, so. But yeah, I do music, and I work at Spafas, and that's basically my everyday kind of life in Tampere. But yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Jasmin. And the last week was Human Rights Day, which marks the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which was agreed on 1948, which gives everybody in the world the same human rights, which entitle us to live in freedom and dignity. The kind of human rights, like the right to life, to free speech, freedom of expression, and equality. But also the thing like the right to health is more important than ever. Jasmin, please can you mute your mic because it sounds. Oh, thank you so much. And right of education, all of these things make life worth living and very important rights that we are all entitled to. And I think the big issue is the one obviously come up during COVID. All of us experience it in a very real level. So whether troubling access to healthcare and the people you love, when you are on shutting down these issues, we are all impacted isolation as well, and systematic and structural discrimination in inequity that we see across the world. And the big human rights challenges for us in this period is how do we address these structural inequalities they get to fundamental rights. I also want to mention the other one big issues in 2020 was Xinjiang in China. One of the most significant human rights issues it brings forth about millions of Uyghur Muslims who had been put in the re-education camps by Chinese authorities. And frankly, and the other one issue is Black Lives Matter protests all over the world. It's a future that we don't want to see, of course. And so, okay, so let's switch to our discussion topic. Let's talk about belongingness. For me, belongingness is the human emotional need to be accepted, whether it's family, friends, society, co-workers, or something else. It's people. I mean, people tend to have one inherent desire to belong and to be an important part of something. And my question is, so what belongingness means to you, and why a sense of belongingness is important? So feel free to answer, please. So may I ask from Vili?
There is the unmute button. Okay, thank you really much, Ramina. That was good question. I think it's something really inherent that everyone wants to belong. If one doesn't belong to something, then where does the purpose come from? Like, if you don't have community, if you don't have like a meaning in some like a bigger scheme, then how what is your purpose? And then belonging to this bigger whatever it is, religion, work, some kind of community, then without belonging, then I don't know, it's quite difficult to find purpose. At least I feel like that.
Yes, I agree with you, Vili. So what do you think, Asmara, about belongingness?
Well, belongingness can be very subjective, but on general, I think it means, for me, it means respect. And respect obviously comes from the awareness, from the knowledge. So for me, belongingness, you can't belong to anywhere where you're not getting the respect, where you're not acknowledged as part of the community, where you're not whether productive or not, that comes later. I mean, like, if you're not part of anything, if you're not given respect, you don't belong there. Now that's something very close to me.
Yes, thank you, Asmara. What do you think, Jasmin, about belongingness?
I think, like Vili and Asmara already said, kind of, I feel like to continue from that, I feel like it's really important for everyone to feel like they are seen and they are heard, and that they have their community and kind of like their own people. And I feel like, well, it might be like a kind of like a biological thing that people are kind of like pack animals, kind of, or laumailäimiä in Finnish, that we're kind of like, I feel like as a species, I feel like we are very like kind of dependent on someone else as well. Like, I know we have to be, like, many people are independent and they don't want to depend on anyone. And at some parts, I don't want to be dependent on anyone, but I still want to have someone there, kind of like that you're not alone. And I feel like for me, belongingness is kind of like belonging to, well, whether it is a group of friends, whether it is a community in like, for example, a LGBT community, or for example, musical genre communities. And those are very like inclusive, and they don't judge anyone because they're in there together and they support, well, mostly people who are in that community. So, you know, like as Mara said, it's a lot to do with like respect and stuff, I feel like.
Yes, thank you, Jasmin. And Andrea, what do you think about belongingness? You have your own thoughts about it.
Okay, so for me, belongingness is to be in a place where I can be myself, that I can feel comfortable being myself, that I can share opinions, that I can talk to people, laugh about the same things, and that they understand me and that they respect me, and that I feel just comfortable. So that for me would be belongingness. For example, being in a table with people. For example, now being here in Finland and being with a lot of people from everywhere and also Finnish people, and that we are talking about different topics, and we can, I just can feel like I belong to this, and I am part of it. So that for me, the meaning.
All right, thank you, Andrea. And my second question was, what can we do to go back better so we don't have to feel excluded? So can anyone answer to this question, please? So what we should do that we don't feel excluded?
I sorry. I would say probably to adapt, to try to adapt to the culture, to try to attend activities that are in their community, so you can relate to people and you can share your stories, and that you can then form like a community or or friends. So I think that would be one option. Sorry for interrupting, Asmara.
Okay.
Not at all. I was just listening to you. No, I was just thinking that when you said that what we can do, it's more like that this integration and inclusion is more like a two-way street. It's not that you do everything and the other, like nothing is happening, or the others from other side the happening is only on the paper, on the bureaucratic level, that okay, we are doing this and nothing on the human level has been done. But okay, the question that what we can do is, I think we can try to unlearn quite many things and try to adapt to the new things. It's not easy, of course. It's not easy. It's very difficult to change your ways, like change your whole ideology. And I don't think so. You need to an extent, but we need to see things from an open mind, from an open view. That okay, if it is something I don't understand now, maybe I need more knowledge on the subject, or maybe I need to learn some new things about a new culture. And it's, as a foreigner, as an immigrant, I'd say that it's somehow it comes to me too, that okay, I need to be more flexible if I need to be adjusted. For me personally, it is something like, it's a fear as well, that if I get too indulged into a new culture, that means that I'm betraying my roots or something. So there are questions, but I think these question actually leads you somewhere where you are on the path of inclusion. So I think it's very important to ask yourself these questions. It's fine not to get answer to everything, but at least you should question and you should explore more.
Yes, thank you, Asmara. And do we have? Yeah.
I would
Yes, please.
I would like to continue from there. Thank you. That was I think it was really insightfully said that essentially we can only change ourselves. That sometimes you might need to adapt or unlearn, and it can be difficult. But even though, like, of course, I can only change myself. Like, I cannot change anyone else. I can maybe motivate someone to change, or like show that it's possible, but but starting from oneself is the only place to start. But on top of that, sometimes when one needs to adopt to kind of be included, then it might be that the kind of community that you first were excluded from and then later included, they don't necessarily even understand that what they are doing and in making the kind of getting included so difficult. So if I need to adopt, I move abroad, I need to adopt, I need to change myself in order to be included, then I feel like I'm kind of betraying the people if I don't let them know that what was difficult or why did I feel excluded in the first place, but kind of like offer them hand that, hey, this is what happened. Do you think we could do something about this, that we could be more inclusive towards other people coming in?
Can I continue from that? So thank you, Vili. I feel like, I mean, of course, people come from different backgrounds, and some people don't have experience of inclusion, and people might feel like it's very like unfamiliar for them, so they might not know where to look for it, or they might feel kind of like an outsider at first, but then they could motivate or get motivated by like just experiencing it more, the inclusion in the certain community or group of people. So then they might like learn to kind of go in it and gain the strength, and then they realize that yes, I took that extra step and now I'm a part of this thing that feels good. But then there is also the other part, which is that, well, not like, well, the ideal thing is that you wouldn't need to try to fit yourself into a box that you don't fit in, and that you try to kind of be included by just being in some community or some group, just because, just so that you would have the feeling of inclusion and a place that you can call yours, you know, or a group of people. But and I think for many people that's how it is at first. You will, like, even like when you start growing up and when you go to different schools, you start seeing people and you get to know people, and you have to kind of, you don't want to go through it alone, so you want to find your people, and that starts with getting to know the people. And at first they might not be the right ones for you, so it's really important to just look for your people and not give up, and kind of include yourself, but also like kind of attract the energy that feels right to you, so that you're not just included but don't feel included, you know. It's kind of, it has many sides.
Thank you, Jasmin. Great. So, do you have any stories that about this belonging stories of your own? I mean, do you have any stories in your life that you were belonged somewhere for something? I don't know. Okay.
Well, there's a question.
Okay, sorry, Carla Sultanova giving us questions. I just second, where is the question? It's disappeared somewhere. Question to all speakers: can you reflect on the event that just took place, Dignity Impact? What is your experience like for Jasmin for hosting? Asmara sharing your story. Thank you, Camila, for the question.
Okay, thank you, Camila. Well, like I said in the event, it was a very special place for me to be, first of all, hosting the event, and even just participating in it and with these kind of people. Well, I felt very included. I felt like I could relate to many of the stories, many of the storytellers, and like in general, like the whole concept of the event, the purpose of it, which like, well, I've throughout my whole life, I felt very, very excluded from many things and many communities, and it took me many years to find my own people, my closest real friends, and my getting in terms with myself and with my family and everything. So it's been a ride from multiple aspects, uh, but like even from like my racial background, my like sexual identity, gender expression, all those kind of things have always kind of excluded me from others since, um, well, uh, for example, I'm born in Finland, but I don't look Finnish. I'm not Finnish, like from blood. So that's the first thing that I feel kind of I got stuck in the whole exclusion subject, but kind of like it's important to go through those things and find the people who go through the same things or similar things as you, so you can feel included. And I feel like the whole Dignity Impact event was also organized for people to feel included and come together, especially during the times like this. And yeah.
Yes, thank you. And
Yeah, Jasmine, it was really nice to meet you at that day and also now. Well, for me, it was very interesting in a way that when Bambi asked me about my story, I had no idea what to tell because I was just thinking that I don't have anything like cool happened in my life where I can, go and tell that, okay, or impactful in a way. But I think this forum has given me a chance to reflect on myself, on my own story, and then I see the aspect, and then I see, okay, there are certain things, and I remember somebody told me at that time that you don't know whom you're gonna touch with your story, who can relate to your story. You have no idea. So yeah, and I was thinking actually. The feedback I got afterwards was like more like that it is my story, and people were just relating, especially who came to Finland or anywhere else, for example. So for me it was really nice experience reflecting on my own life in such a way. It gave me a platform to project, and that was actually one of my agenda of the story, that I want to reflect women of Pakistan, how they are, other than how they've been projected in media. So for me, it was just really really interesting experience, and again to hear those amazing stories, that was also something really 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 mind-boggling. You see those people, those people, at least some, and you don't know how beautiful experiences they had in their lives, and that's just amazing. Thank you for that platform, actually.
thank you too.
Mm.
Um, so as you know, 10th, a second, just a moment. As you know, 6th of December was Independence Day of Finland. So let's talk about Finnishness. Suomalaisuus is in Finnish. For me, when I think about Finnishness, it comes to my mind the word of sisu. And especially, I like Finnish concept of sisu, which describes a tendency of purpose, bravery, and resilience, what we need, especially during COVID. And so how would you define the word of Finnishness? So Vili, yeah, sorry, Jasmin. Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, thank you. um well, I've had a lot of like different kind of reactions to my Finnishness. Some people say, okay, you have grown up here, you're born here, of course you're Finnish. Like, what do you mean? And some people say, no, if you're not Finnish from blood, you're not Finnish. But for me, it's kind of very complex, because in a way I feel Finnish, but in a way I don't feel Finnish. And I feel like the Finnishness does come from within, and what you how you see it. I don't think it's the same for everyone, um, but I feel like I appreciate the Finnish culture. I see a lot of beautiful things in it, and I feel like I am, like, I belong to this place where I am now. Do I feel like this is the place that is like made for me, and that I wanna, for example, raise my future kids here? And do I feel like Finland is my place, like that? I don't feel that way, but I am very lucky to have been born in a country like this, that is still so like gone so much forward in many things. But of course there are still some improvements, but I don't know, I feel partially Finnish but partially not. It's very kind of complicated to explain.
Thank you, Jasmin. And anyone else? Yeah, Vili. Do you want to answer?
It's a difficult question, and like there's absolutely no way I can give any kind of definitive answer. But I think I have been traveling somewhat. I visited over 45 countries, and while doing so, I'm certain that people all around the world are the same. Like, if I would be born in North Korea, I would be really North Korean. And if North Korean person would be born in Finland, they would be really Finnish. So I don't think there is anything like, or I think the essence of being Finnish or being whatever is more of the culture and how you kind of, what you decide to promote or enhance about it. So I would like to see that on top of the kind of all the bad traits we have here, like not knowing how to small talk or how to approach people or talk about feelings and that kind of things, then here we are kind of like man or woman of your word, honest, straight back, deal with the things that life throws at you. And I think those kind of then, so many things that you, Ramina, already talked about in Sisu, then I think those are quite Finnish things. And I think it's something that completely can be learned or adopted. I don't think it has anything to do with bloodline as such.
Thank you, Vili. Here is Bambi asking question to Vili. You were before mentor in Dignity Impact event and also a speaker in Talk the Talk. So Bambi loves the story. If you could please share it from the perspective as well.
Thank you really much, Bambi, for that question. I was really honored to be asked to mentor in the global the Dignity Impact event, and it's amazing stuff you have there. Like all these stories, because they are so true and so real. And this is exactly the stuff that I feel we need to share to be truly inclusive. Because if everything goes towards the direction of having so polished and kind of unreal production things, then it becomes distant. I like, if we deal with real people, we are here like ourselves, and we talk about real things and feel real feelings, then it becomes much more closer and reachable. And I think that's why we need Dignity Impact kind of events more to open up and give the opportunity for someone to tell Asmara that, oh, that was my story, but you voiced it really well. Because if we don't share the story, no one will hear it. No one will know. No one will come to say that. There will be no opportunity for that.
Dignity stories are true and real, and we need what we need to feel and behave inclusively. Thanks, Vili, for saying that. It's the same spirit we started with in 2015. And
You're doing great.
Yes, thank you so much. And Andrea and Asmara, do you want something to talk about it? Finnishness, yeah.
Yes. Yes. So I wanted to say that I totally relate with the story that Jasmin told, because for me it was also very hard to stay in a place where I can call that I home or that I feel like I belong to, because I come from Mexico and I have always lived there. So in Mexico we are very close to our family and to our friends, and the fact that I separated my family and I left my country, my culture, everything behind was very hard for me. So I was totally heartbroken, but I had to do it because I felt like I wanted to see something else, and I wanted to do something else for myself, and I went to chase a dream. So I came to Europe to study, and since I have been here, I feel like I belong, and Finnish people has been amazing to me. So I'm very thankful. And I don't have that much time living here in Finland. I just have like a few months that I arrived, but even though this short time that I have been here, I can feel that I am welcome, and so that's amazing feeling. Because I have also lived in Spain just before coming to Finland, and the pandemic um, came while I was there studying. So that's
Your
the
voice is
hardest
so
thing
low,
ever, because I
Andrea.
was
It's
alone.
your voice, yeah. So
Oh, sorry.
yeah, it's
So is it better now? Okay, so I was in Spain studying, and then the pandemic came. So everything was chaotic because I was alone. It was the first time I was so far away from home. And so I have to be locked down in a room for 3 months. In Spain, the situation was awful. We couldn't go out, and I didn't have anything. I didn't have enough money, so in order to help my expenses, I tried to get a job in Spain, but it was very hard. I never to get one. And when I finally found something to help myself to be there, it wasn't a good experience at all. It was awful. I was humiliated. They didn't want to pay me. So, I mean, it was hard. And the thing that I did is, of course, I quit. And then they locked us down. So we were in confinement. But it was really awful situation because we couldn't go out. And I started to feel so much anxiety. And I just wanted to go home. But at the same time, I said to myself that I've gone so far and I can go back to my country because I just came and it was my dream. So I said I have to do something else. Luckily, I have my boyfriend. He's Finnish, so he said to me we were calling almost every day. So he told me like come to Finland and we can start here. You can start. You can make other studies, or you don't have to quit your dream just because this pandemic situation. So now I'm here. And it was, but yeah, the fact that I left everything behind, and I don't know when I'm gonna be able to see again my family because I miss them so much and my friends. But I'm happy. I'm just happy to be here, and I'm just trying to be positive. And just people have here treats me very well, so I feel okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Andrea. Asmara, have you any things to say?
Oh, well, yes, a bit. I would like to second totally with Vili. I mean, like, That's what I think, and that's what I believe in. And I said that in my speech as well, that when people ask me about the cultural shock or anything, I didn't get any, because I don't know, in a way I've prepared myself. And also it was something that I've been transferred from one urban setup to another urban setup. Obviously there are economic differences, but still more or less people are people. And I think I have this, I don't want to say ability, but something of awareness that people are people everywhere. If you see if you say that Finnishness is something that people don't talk much here or something like that, then I know the Finnish side who talks a lot, and they're my friends, of course, nonstop. Then if you say that Finnish side is someone who come always on time, like really on time at work, I know so many who doesn't. So I mean, like, I just can't categorize people like that, that this is the Finnishness. Finnishness is something who wants to define themselves the way they think they are. I want to define myself a Pakistani, the kind of Pakistani I am. And same way, I'm not there where I can say that it's been only 8 years I've been living here. I don't say myself that I'm a Finnish person, but whenever I'm ready, I think that would be my definition of my Finnishness, whatever it will be. So I think it's very, very private and very it defines it doesn't, it's not something which you can paint everybody with. It's not something that you say that okay, in Finland everybody is like same or something.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Can I comment a bit on that? I feel like there are, of course, in every country, in every label, there is a norm, and people, there is the the norm that people expect it to be some type of way, because like there is a majority of like the related stuff to that certain thing that are a certain way. And in Finland, like the thing that they say that Finnish people don't talk much, or they like their space, or they don't talk to you in the elevator, or like stuff like that. It's like, yeah, of course it depends on people, and of course in Finland there is a certain type of an environment and a weather that might have an effect on some people's like moods. For example, for me, I'm not like the happiest whenever it's, you know, dark, but when it's the summertime, I'm like glowing, I'm, you know, the happiest ever. And of course it has effects on people. Like if you live in a place that is sunny all year round and people are happy and dancing all year round, like in Mexico, or if you're in a place that is most of the year it's very dark, it's very cold, and people are very separated mostly. Because I feel like here the Finnish kind of culture and it's very well, even like in families, I know that it's not common for like in Finnish families to, like, for example, kiss your family members or be very like this. But for example, in France and in Iran, where I come from, it's like very normal. Like we're like, mwah, we, you know, we kiss everyone and we hug and we're very like, we express it very, very openly. Yeah, and I think maybe in Pakistan as well. So in here, if you do that, it might be, oh, like stay away, you know. So I think that's is a like there are some patterns that are kind of the norm in Finland that I think is what foreign people usually notice in Finnish people. Yeah, that was all.
All right. Thank
Just
you.
want to say a bit. Sorry if I'm cutting you. I just want to say that there's a difference in the cities and in the small towns in Finland as well. In small towns, when you go, people actually talk to you just like that. I mean, like especially kids I've seen, they come to you and they just start talking just like that. If you are in the park and or mother come and she starts like asking you something or just like, so I don't know. But in Helsinki, at least I haven't experienced. Even in Tampere also, I haven't experienced this thing.
Kamila Sultanova has comments here. She says, so I hear it, Jasmin. I first hugged my Finnish family members, still do.
Yeah. It's like, I don't care if you like it, come here.
So the other question is, what are your advice for why storytelling is important for self-reflection?
No thought is properly thought before it's written down or spoken out loud. Like you can have some kind of, you know, the feeling when you have something going on in your head and it seems completely clear to you, but then when you need to explain it to your friend or in an exam or at work, then or on the stage, then it suddenly becomes like you know. And just the process of forcing the abstract idea to some concrete words, like that actually makes the story. Like in the sense, like the story is only born in the moment that you put it into words. And if we don't talk about it, we don't write about it, then you know, it's all here. No one knows. It doesn't exist for other people.
Yeah, I feel like if even if there is like the same story like written on paper and then you return the paper somewhere and someone reads it, of course it might be touching and you might, you start reflecting it to yourself and your experiences and then you start like feeling it. But like if somebody tells it to you and like looks you in the eyes, of course it's a totally different thing. And the fact that if you make mistakes, if you stumble in your words, it all makes it personal because you can hear the nervousness, you can hear the fact that it's so personal and so like difficult to put into words. You will hear it in that person's way of communicating and telling the story. So it's really important to kind of like, I don't know, it makes total difference when you see and you hear the thing because it's like you're reliving the story that they're telling. It's kind of, it's very very um what's the word, um very powerful. Yeah.
So I just want to say that Vili said before something that was, I think it's very true. He said that if people won't listen to you if you don't share your story. So I think that is very true because you want to, if you want people to hear your story, you need to share it. And so in that way, people can relate to your story, or you can inspire others to go and also there to do some things. And so I think that's very true. I just wanted to comment.
Yeah, I read somewhere that and I'm so bad in remembering the name, but that we are nothing but stories. And I mean, like, if we are all stories, then why aren't we sharing it? And why we are not telling? I think the storytelling method is very old. It's like really, really centuries old. And it's kind of the first thing, if I'm not wrong, invented in the history to communicate to people, to relate to people, to relate to your experiences. And until or unless you don't share it, as Willie said, that I mean, like, you have no point of relatability, and we need this relatability to live on, to learn more things. I mean, like, if you are just telling me, just reading a book to me, or just reading some boring articles to me, maybe I don't relate to it that much, and I will hear something and I skip most of it. But the personal stories, I think that's what gives the more impact, the more real thing. It sounds so real. It is real. So I think that connects with us more.
Yes, thank you, Asmara. And the other question is, what makes you motivated when you feel down also in COVID?
It's a very, very difficult question, actually. Um, in any situation, I think that's my method. I don't know how anybody can relate to it or not, but I just ask myself about what the worst thing can come, and am I ready to face that worst scenario or not, and just being very rational and ask that, okay, I need to do. When in February or March, when this whole thing was like really, really high in numbers and cases were increasing, obviously being in Finland so far from your family was like really frightening. And at that time, it seems like it's the end of the world or something like that, at least for 1 or 2 hours I felt that. And at that time, I was asking myself, so, okay, what can I do, what can be the possible solution to it? Of course, then you rely on the technology, and you think of the solutions, that okay, what can be done if it happens, if things happen, and if you just like what can you do to boost your morale. I somehow ended up, I think, learning more new things, what I can do. Actually, I was working throughout that time, but still I found something which I was thinking that I was really busy before. So I think, okay, now it's the time which actually give me some kind of productivity, which can bring some kind of light in my life. So I started studying Finnish more, which was actually pretty good. And I started exercising more. So I think first thing is just to face your fear, and then you find the solutions. I think that's one way of getting yourself motivating. At least I did that.
I think, like Asmara said, that just to try to be keep positive, and we can also do things that, I mean, we are alive, so we still have opportunities to do so many things. Um, Other thing that we can do is to do things that we like. For example, we can watch series, we can watch movies, or we can be with our family members if you have the possibility to do so. And I don't know, to read books, like Asmara said, try to do some exercise, those kind of activities keep you motivated and they don't make you feel down or sad. So I think that would be a good thing to do during this period.
Um, well, for me, the whole Corona thing has been kind of, well, a lot of things have happened. Let's say that. Even though it feels like nothing is going on, nothing is happening. Um, well, um, Even though I work at a restaurant, I am a bartender, and as you all know, all the clubs are closed, which means I got laid off. And then I'm also a DJ, so no clubs are open, so I again laid off in a way. So it's kind of like, in a way, it feels like everything you get joy of is kind of like non-accessible. But then again, for example, music for me is a huge source of motivation. When I'm heartbroken, when I'm happy, when I'm sad, when I'm whatever, it's always, my kind of safe place. And that has been a huge motivation, like a motivator for me. And also I've learned to um, kind of change my attitude towards some things and not judge them that fast, or completely go to that thing that, oh, everything sucks and nothing is worth anything, because that is an easy mindset that you go to when nothing, you feel like nothing's going well. Oh, it's dark, it's cold, I don't have a job, what do I do? It's very, you're in a kind of a spiral of negativity, which it won't take you anywhere. But it's a time that we all need, and we all need to have to go towards that positivity, and to be able to learn that. But I feel like during COVID, I've been able to kind of think more positively, and think that um, like there is always like um, ups and downs, and to go up you need to go there somehow. So you go down and then you go up, and it's kind of like that. And I've learned to kind of think that, well, I've done a lot of growing during this whole year, and I feel like I've learned to do things differently and try to, what's the word, like suhtautua, what's the word, like, I don't know, just have a different kind of attitude to,
towards something. Yeah.
yeah.
The moment I thought I know Finnish.
Yeah, but I feel like just that I've been keeping contact with my family members. I know my mom, if she has asthma, so if she were to get corona, I would be really, really like cautious of it, and I'm really worried about that. But she's really careful and she's staying home and not seeing anyone, so that's good that I know that she is safe. But yeah, just like having your loved ones around and listening to music and having some hope, that has gotten me through this.
I think during the past 8 or 9 months or 8 or 9 years, it feels like, I think everyone has felt alone and somewhat excluded. I'm not really good at this myself, but I think I know step forward would be that, you're guaranteed not to be alone. Reach out for people. Like there are like your friends or family. If not, then there is for sure someone else that is feeling lonely. And if we just, shell up in our little silo and then like just stay with the loneliness, then nothing is going to change. We need to reach out to be included, but also include. Like if I'm just staying at my place and working all day, I'm not including anyone into my life. Like I'm not being open for people. I'm not giving anyone opportunity to, spend time or to have a community of like theirs. So in a way, that's one way to think about it, that if you feel alone, then offer some kind of company. Like technology is 2020, like there's a bunch of things you can do online or remote, and open up.
Yeah, and I just want to say a bit that sometimes the motivation to open up is also a bit difficult to find within yourself. I agree what you are saying, that as I said before, that it is a two-way street. You need to get out to seek help, but there are moments when, and I know from my personal experience and from others, that it's a bit difficult even to convince yourself that either you need help, you're in denial, or you don't have enough motivation to actually seek for help. But yeah, there are other help, professional help is available. Then I think at least you should go for that.
I'm also learning languages. I'm learning Swedish now, but like Asmara is learning Finnish. So who knows? Maybe later after learning Swedish, I will try to learn Finnish. So hopefully, I need some luck with that.
Thank you, everyone, for being part of the Dignity community. And this, we are now at the end of 2020. So, what do you feel grateful for in 2020? For example, I am grateful for to my family, and I'm grateful for to God for everything.
I'm really grateful that I have stayed healthy and all people close to me have stayed healthy. But on top of that, kind of that every difficulty is opportunity to grow. And if this has been a difficult year in many other ways. I have been really privileged that I have managed to keep my work. I finished my studies during the lockdown when I didn't have anything else to do than finish them, and that kind of thing. So I have had opportunity to take benefit of that, but still, like it has been difficult being secluded so much. But maybe it gives more time to then work with yourself to get your own personal balance correct.
Yeah, I'm also well, very grateful for the fact that my family is not like feeling ill, and that I have a roof on top of my head. I have, I'm not like in trouble in that way, because I know that there are people who have it worse than me. But it has been a very challenging year, but I feel like I've done a lot of growth, like and self-reflecting a lot. I've become even more spiritual, and I've been kind of like um, feeling good energy and to myself and others, and I'm very grateful. I've got to know a few people this year that have become like one of the closest people in my life, and this year has been huge. Yeah, because well, I fell in love, but I also got my heart broken, uh, or me and that person did both, because it's very complex. But anyway, um, so a lot of things have happened, and I've had a lot of like DJ gigs and a lot of opportunities like giving to me, which makes me appreciate this year so much more. Because in a way, it's been the best year so far, but in a way, it's been the worst year. but then again, I feel like it's more of the best than the worst, because I think the more time goes on, I'm getting stronger and stronger within myself, and I'm finding the people I really want in my life and for the rest of my life. And I'm happy I got in contact with the dignity people again, so I was able to join the community again, and yeah, I don't know, it feels good to be where I am right now, and I feel like if many of these things that happened this year, if they wouldn't have happened, I wouldn't be here. So I'm grateful in a way. Yeah.
I'm grateful for many things. Actually, this year gave me like ample time to reflect on myself, my choices, and many things which were pending and in pipeline, but I haven't been doing them. So I started doing that. So I'm really grateful for that. I'm grateful for my family and my loved ones, that they are safe. For my health, of course, which goes up and down, but generally it stays pretty okay. And yeah, I think, and of course, I completed my master's degree finally this year, so I'm grateful for that.
Yay, congrats.
Thank you. And I guess this global dignity thing was really, really, really nice experience for me to reflect on my life in a way which I haven't done before. So yeah.
Sorry for interrupting you. We have a minute left. So I would like to thank all of you for joining us, and thank you to everyone and attendees also who had watched us online. And I wish you a health and stay safe. So you can also just continue the last word, please. Yeah, it's now 18. Yeah, it will finish in a minute now. Yes. So
Well,
you can continue, Asmara and Andrea, please.
Well, I just wanted to say that I'm grateful for being here, for this opportunity that I'm now here. that I have my family. Well, not physically, but they are always in my heart. I have my friends. They are all healthy, so I'm really grateful for that. I'm healthy as well. We have a roof in real life, so I'm very grateful for that. I just wanted to say that, and thank you so much for this platform, for letting us to share our stories. It was great. It was a pleasure, and goodbye, everyone.
Yes.
I just want to say thank you, and yeah, that's about it. But it was really nice seeing all of you and people who are watching online. Stay happy, stay healthy, be careful, and yeah, just thank you.
Yes.
Love for everyone.
Yeah.
Bye. Or maybe Claudia can take picture of us when we do like this. Claudia, take a screenshot. Okay.